Hello, we are from International Scientific Research and Publications. I'm here to help you to know how to write a survey paper. This video is a step-by-step or a stepwise guide for how to write a survey paper. So let's get into the video. I am going to explain you the 9 steps which will help you to write your survey paper. So let's begin with the step 1. First thing, you have to select the representative papers. The first step when writing a survey paper is selecting the most relevant representative papers that are within the scope of your research and summarizing them efficiently. As you will note, there can be a lot of research papers and the space required to create a survey paper is limited. As such, it can be challenging when trying to pick the keyword with the scope of study. As an another of the survey paper, you will have to read the research paper, abstracts and conclusions and pick the subset that captures your area of study. To ensure that the selected research papers are appropriate or relevant, they should be recent, contain more citations, and be published in journals with a high reputation. So, the research paper should not be less than 10. Coming up with an appropriate title. So, you have to select the appropriate title for your survey paper. The second step is coming up with a captivating title that provides a clear summary of your paper's content. As such, the title should be clear and brief. To achieve this, the title should utilize active verbs rather than complex phrases that are based on nouns. A good title of your survey paper should contain between 10 and 12 words because a title with more words will divert the attention of the readers from the central point. A longer title will also appear unfocused. Therefore, the title should have the keywords of your survey paper in such a way that defines the study's nature. And let's move on to the third step, which is create an abstract. Another important step to be taken when writing a survey paper is to create an abstract. The abstract acts as a summary of your survey paper. It should provide a summary of the problem that has been investigated, the methods used, the results of the study, and the conclusion. Abstracts summarize the most important contents of your survey paper in a single paragraph of between 200 to 300 words. When creating an abstract, make sure that it contains or highlights the key points while convincing the readers or the target audience to continue reading the whole survey paper. Should always include an abstract in your survey paper. And the fourth step, which is you have to list the key terms. While the keywords help the target audience or the other researchers understand the field of survey paper, the subfield, research issue, the topic, and so on. The main purpose of this section is to help readers or researchers locate your paper when they are doing searches on the topic. Most of the databases, electronic search engines such as Google and journal websites will utilize keywords when deciding whether to display the survey paper to interested readers and when this should be done. With these proper keywords, your survey will be more searchable and it will be cited by more researchers because it can be easily located. And the fifth step, which you have to write the introduction for your survey paper. This is the next step when writing a survey paper is to include a good introduction. A good introduction paragraph will explain to the target readers how the research problem has been tackled by the research papers that you have included in your paper. The introduction should arouse the reader's interest in knowing more about the topic and the research domain. If they are interested, they will continue reading your survey paper. Unlike the abstract, the introduction with the survey paper does not contain a very strict word limit. However, It should be concise because it introduces the paper's topic, provides a broader content of the study, and gradually narrows the scope down to the research problem. Therefore, make sure that your introduction set as a scene and contextualizes your paper. It can begin with a historical narrative, bringing the narrative to the present day and ending with a research question. Ensure that the very last sentence of the introduction is the thesis statement. So, in the previous video we had already discussed about the thesis statement, and I had explained you how to write a perfect thesis statement. If you don't know, I will give the link in description. Please check it out. Step 6. Providing the approaches used in the survey paper. This is a very important step in any survey paper. This is where you are required to provide the methodologies used to conduct your research or survey in logical order. You are required to logically move from one method to the next, as you clearly define each approach at the beginning of every section. To ensure that your readers are at par with you, you should share the motivation behind each methodology. This is achieved by giving a high-level summary of every approach and then narrowing it down to the specific approaches. You should also demonstrate the applicability and the practicability of every approach used in the research and the areas that need to be improved. You should graphically visualize at least one method used. And the step 7, writing about the paper surveys. This step should talk the bulk of your survey paper because it is the point where your survey papers you have selected. Here you should decide what you are going to inform your readers about each research paper. Therefore, it is important to first read the research paper in a manner that you can know what to inform your readers about them. For each research paper, make sure that you tell your readers about the research direction. Also ensure that you to identify the algorithms or the mathematical techniques the research papers rely on and whether they are application or theory papers. You should also state whether the selected research papers are improvement on other works or they are in constitution of other works. Then state whether the research papers utilize simulations, theoretical proofs, real life development, and so on. Finally, you should state the strength and weakness of each research paper, authors, claims, and assumptions. And the 8th step, which is you have to research challenges. After surveying every research paper you have utilized, the next step is to state the challenges you encountered while conducting research. When writing a survey paper, you will always face various challenges. Such challenges can be finding the best or most appropriate research papers, comparing them to determine their strengths, and so on. Other challenges can arise from the research papers themselves. This can include the delivery of the results. Some research papers will contain confusing data. And the last step, which is the 9th step, coming up with the conclusion. Finally, the conclusion should answer the questions that have been raised by your survey paper, objectives, and goals. Though it should be interesting and captivating, it should still be presented academically. It should be objective and offer a final say concerning the survey's subject. The conclusion should synthesize the results by proving the interpretation, purpose, the course of action as per the results, and offer solutions to the issues that have been identified, so that the reader should be capable of understanding the whole survey paper by reading the conclusion. Therefore, ensure that your conclusion synthesizes your paper. So, I think this video will be helpful for you. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon.